In 2023, something happened that shocked the auto industry. For the first time in history, a Chinese company outsold Tesla in electric vehicles. That company wasn't a Silicon Valley startup, it was BYD. And that moment changed the global car industry forever. Because this isn't just about cars, this is about power. This is about global dominance. And right now, China might be winning. For decades, American automakers like General Motors, Ford Motor Company, and more recently Tesla defined the global auto market. But today, Chinese EV makers are expanding into Europe, Latin America, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and they're doing it fast. So the question is this just a temporary surge, or is the global auto industry shifting east? China didn't just start building EVs yesterday. For over a decade, the Chinese government invested billions into battery research, EV subsidies, charging infrastructure, domestic supply chains. Companies like BYD, Leapmotor, NIO, XPeng scaled aggressively. But here's the key difference. Chinese EV makers control their supply chain. BYD doesn't just build cars, it builds its own batteries. And batteries are 40% of an EV's cost. That cost control gives them a massive pricing advantage. Let's talk about Tesla. Tesla still dominates in brand power, software, charging infrastructure in the US. But here's what's happening quietly. Tesla's biggest factory is in Shanghai. China is not just competing with Tesla, it's learning from Tesla. And in some markets, Chinese EVs are cheaper, packed with features, faster to launch. BYD's pricing strategy undercuts Western automakers by thousands of dollars. In emerging markets, that matters a lot. Chinese automakers are now expanding aggressively into Germany, UK, Brazil, Thailand, Australia. And here's the strategy. Enter markets where Tesla is expensive, offer better value, focus on government fleet sales, scale production rapidly. But there's resistance. The United States imposed heavy tariffs on Chinese EV imports. Why? Because if Chinese EVs entered the US at full scale, they could disrupt pricing across the entire market. American automakers aren't sitting still. Ford Motor Company launched the F-150 Lightning. General Motors invested billions in battery plants. The US government introduced incentives to boost domestic EV production. But here's the problem. US EVs are often more expensive to build. Labor costs are higher, supply chains are more fragmented, and profit margins are under pressure. Meanwhile, Chinese EV companies are prioritizing volume over short-term profit. That's a long-game strategy. Let's break it down. In China, Chinese brands dominate. In Europe, Chinese EV market share is rising rapidly. In the US, Chinese EVs are largely blocked by tariffs. But globally, China is now the largest EV exporter in the world. That is not a small milestone. That is a structural shift in global car power. Here's what could happen next. Scenario 1, the US increases protectionism, forcing a divided EV market. Scenario 2, Chinese brands partner with Western companies. Scenario 3, a price war begins, and consumers win. But one thing is clear. The era of Western auto dominance is over. We are entering a multipolar car industry, and the next decade will decide who leads. So here's the real question. Will Tesla adapt fast enough? Will American automakers compete on price? Or will BYD become the new global king of cars? The EV war has just begun, and this time, the battlefield is global.